Ahoy mateys, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. And we are looking at something from Hidden Cove Brewing Company. I love these guys. I have since the day I first saw their stuff at, boy, was it one of the Bangor Brew Fests in the summer? Or was it actually a tab? Wow, I'm trying to remember. Because America on Tap started doing festivals in Bangor, Maine a little while back, and I think that was where I first discovered Hidden Cove, but I want to say it was one of the local focused brew fests in Bangor, which would have been the Tap in the Summer, back when it was just beer. I honestly can't remember where I first came across Hidden Cove, but I'm glad I did, because these guys have got some amazing beers, and I've made one trip down there before for a bottle release, and that was kind of fun, although it's a bit out of the way for me. So when the wife wanted to take a trip with the in-laws down to Wells, which is where Hidden Cove is, I decided to piggyback my own little side trip on there, and they were gracious enough to allow it, and it was great. It was kind of like a pilgrimage, and they're one of my favorite Maine breweries. They're probably in the top 5 still. They haven't been edged out of that spot by any of the newer ones just yet. But they're definitely a great place to go. It's a decent destination. It's a little bit of a touristy area, but you know what? That's where the money is for these guys. So you can't really blame them. But it's a nice building, good setup. It was frustrating to go there, though, because I had to limit myself. I walk in the door and I look at the beer list and I check my list on Untapped, and they've got bottles to go of, I think, at least 3 or 4 different brews that I haven't tried yet. And of course, I want to get through as much of their catalog as I can. So, you know, it was difficult to narrow it down to one. As I decided I was going to get a pint glass while I was there. So 1 beer in a pint glass, you know, that's a little bit of cash. And then technically I was going to get 2 bottles in a pint glass. Did I say barrels a minute ago? I think I did. Anyway, I was going to get 2 beers in a pint glass, but then I saw the T-shirt that I couldn't pass up. Now it's got their logo here, but here's the cool part. Try and turn around and show you this without knocking anything over. Boatloads of awesomeness, and it is. That place is just awesome. They've got some great beers. Their flagship stuff, their regular productions are great, but they also have barrel-aged beers as well. So if you're in Wells, Maine, check out Hidden Cove. If you're anywhere in Maine, I think New Hampshire, and maybe down as far as Mass. I don't know how far south they've penetrated yet, but anywhere they distribute their beers, you gotta check them out. You can get some of their flagships in cans. These bombers are what they're still using these corked bombers for the more exclusive stuff. So I narrowed it down. I picked out barrel-aged, because their barrel-aged beers are amazing, Beast of Bonbon Porter. Now this was aged in bourbon barrels, which is kind of standard. Although these guys have done tequila barrels, they've done rum barrels. I almost think they had one that was done in gin, but gin's not aged in barrels, is it? It's just put in the still. Anyway, they've used a variety of different barrels, and they even have some brews that they'll barrel age a beer in the barrels, and then they'll turn around and put a second beer into those barrels that they just used, so it picks up some of the subtle notes from the first beer that was through there, as well as whatever liquor was in there. So it's just amazing. These guys are putting out some really cool stuff. Anyway, back to Beast of Bonbon Porter, aged in bourbon barrels with vanilla bean and cherries. Ooh, it's an 8.8%, so it's going to have a bit of a kick to it. The wire cage. Now, these corks are about 50-50 for me, so we're going to see how this one comes off. If I can even get to the cork, there we go. Just got to loosen that up a little bit more. Oh, this one's going to be stubborn. Oh, sometimes it's a curse having smooth hands. I'm going to go grab something for a little bit of leverage on that. A couple of folded over paper towels usually does the trick. I'm hoping I don't have to go get the corkscrew, although it ain't looking good here. Holy crap. Oh, I felt some movement. Oh, that bad boy's in there. Alright, before I pull a muscle, Plan C. Still the best $10 I ever spent. Ah, crap. Should have driven that one in a little further. I'm also thinking it's time to replace the batteries, and this thing is starting to sound a little weak. There we go. I didn't want to push too hard. I don't have a problem with digging cork fragments out of my beer, but I prefer not to if I don't have to. Oh, man. That is a pretty dark porter. It's almost syrupy on the pour, too. And it's got a dark brown head on it. Wow. I like the looks of this. Oh yeah, you can't see through that. There's no light getting through that porter at all. Like I said, even the bubbles are brown. That's kind of neat. Did I just say that was kind of neat? I knew I was a little buzzed already, but I don't think I was buzzed enough to be dropping words like neat. Unless I'm talking about scotch. But yeah, that is so dark. I mean, it's still, the way the light's hitting it, you can still tell it's brown and not completely black. But it is really, really dark brown to the point where it's almost black. Oh, man. And I mentioned it looked a little syrupy, and I stand by that. There is a bit of a sweet aroma to it. It's supposed to, oh, probably the vanilla. Yeah, vanilla bean and cherries. Yeah, hint of sweetness. Maybe a touch of a bourbon aroma in there. But extremely subtle, under a bit of smokiness. Nice medium heavy mouthfeel. Straight up vanilla up front. Hint of cherry on the back of the palate. And then after you swallow it, you start getting roasted, toasted notes. And then the bourbon flavor hits you in the finish. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just really, really enjoying it. I tell you what, it's gonna warm you up. So I don't know if I necessarily recommend it for summer. I might regret this by the end of the bottle. Regret the decision to drink it at this time of year. Definitely not regretting it based on the flavor or the overall experience. I mean, this is a delicious beer. Yeah. I'm just trying to pick up on anything else or think of any other way to describe it other than what I've already done, because I know I'm at the point tonight where I might start babbling, rambling, and repeating myself. But yeah, I think the initial assessment holds up. It's not changing. I mean, maybe some of those toasty notes, I'm getting an impression of toasted marshmallow, but it might just be, yeah. I think I'm legitimately getting a hint of toasted marshmallow. There's no reason for that, pardon, based on the description, but yeah, definitely getting hints of toasted marshmallow along with the smoky, toasty vanilla, cherry, and bourbon. Huh, that's odd. I don't know. But for me, this is a full on 5 out of 5. The whole experience of this beer has been incredible. I'm loving it. I'm probably going to drink it way faster than I should because I'm really enjoying it. Like I said, I would definitely just recommend drinking it on colder days of the year because it is certainly warming me up. And it's giving me that impression of a heavier beer that would do that and that you should drink during, months when there's some snow on the ground or at least some brown and red leaves. But summer, not ideal. But again, that's just my personal preference. I mean, it's definitely not detracting from the experience of the beer. I just think it would be way cooler to drink this during the colder months. So, yeah, see, there's that rambling and repeating that I was talking about earlier. So, perfect 5 out of 5 from me. Definitely check it out. And once you have, let me know what you think of the beer or even Hidden Cove in general. Hit me up down below in the comments, the email link down there. While you're in that area, make sure to like and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you get the toasted marshmallow flavor too. It's definitely not something I was expecting or that I really should be tasting, I think, based on the description. But, I wonder if I'm the only one. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. Let's talk about the beer or the brewery. Definitely hit them up if you're ever in Wells, Maine, or even within 30 minutes to an hour of the place. It's worth it. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Cheers. Boatloads of awesomeness for sure.